Well, hello and a very warm welcome to Business Today TV. I am Chetan, Bhutani. Well, Maruti Suzuki has reported its set of numbers, and I am joined by Senior Executive Officer at Maruti Suzuki, Mr. Shashank Srivastava. Shashank sir, thank you so much for joining us. Tell us the numbers, sir, the good, bad, and the ugly, and what does it really indicate for the company as a whole?
Well, I think from a wholesale perspective, the April month panned out, I would say, reasonably well, although the retails were muted a little bit. So from an industry perspective, if you see the overall wholesale number saw a growth of about 13% over last year. So this year, the industry numbers are 331,800 or so. And I'm talking of passenger vehicle numbers against about 294,000 last year. And for Maruti Suzuki, we did about 139,500 against 126,000 of last year. So our growth also in the passenger vehicle close to 13%. So I would say it's a reasonable growth. However, on the retail side has been pretty flat for the industry at 286,000 against 276,000 or so. Just a 3% growth and a flattish number across almost all OEMs. So I think this difference of wholesale and retail numbers has led to an increase in the network stock. The inventory for the industry going up by almost 50,000 units, coming to about 250,000 now. That's more like a normal inventory. So we saw the first month of this financial year, where the inventory sort of built up to more normal levels. The pipeline of the increased inventory is what is reflected in the larger wholesales.
Fair enough. So also one disturbing trend which we saw was, of course, the declining trend of mini cars, down about 18%. Is there a plan to relook at the strategy how these cars are manufactured, because the demand is clearly less, and I'm sure are there any tweaks planned to change the production line or focus more on the MUVs than the SUVs?
Actually, if you see Chetan, in the last year, this hatch segment, the small car segment, grew 20% from about 11,60,000 to 13,40,000. But when you compare it with the peak numbers it has had in 2018-19, which is 15,58,000, it is, of course, much lower. And the basic fact about this reduction has been the lower affordability because of the increased prices. And those prices have increased because of reasons of taxes, regulatory stringency, commodity price increases, so on and so forth. This year, I think April number has to be looked at with a little bit of a pinch of salt, because in this year, this month of April, we did not have the Alto 800, which was phased out after the BS6 phase 2 norms came through in 1st April. So the comparison may not be really similar, because it will take some time for the Alto K10 to start taking the numbers of the Alto 800 going forward. And that's what we hope to do in the balance year. But having said that, the projection for the hatches this year is flat. And for the overall industry, growth is expected to be 5 to 7%.
Right. So the company would continue to focus on hatchbacks, and there's actually no plan to do any production tweaks, so that probably production is lesser for hatchbacks.
So production, actually, you have different lines in the different plants. So it's not as if you can immediately shift one capacity to the other, because you require specialized equipment for every model. But we have reasonable flexibility, I would say. And as I said, we are expecting the hatch segment to remain flat. And in fact, it has been flat. It's about 34% of the total market in April as well, which is actually the same number as we saw for the full year of last year. However, SUVs have gone up in this month, about 47% share of the total pie of the passenger vehicle industry, against about 43.5 for the whole year 22-23.
Right. Also, Shashank, it's actually very clear that the sale of SUVs is driving growth for sales as far as Maruti is concerned. In the recent past, a couple of SUVs have been launched, or a facelift has also come up. So, could you give us some number and the trend of the SUVs as far as Maruti goes?
Yes. So, if you look at the whole of last year, our market share was 12.6%. If you look at it quarter-wise, quarter one market share was about 8.5%, but went up to almost 17% in Q4. That's because of the introduction of the Grand Vitara, which we did in September of last year, and also the increased availability of Brezza. And that has helped us to get the market share of 17% in quarter four of the last financial year. And now we have introduced the Fronks, dispatches of which started in the month of April. Although the retail started just a couple of days back, and this figure of ours in the wholesales include about 8,500 units of Fronks that we dispatch. And now our targeted market share for the SUVs is about 25%. From 12.5%, we are targeting to double it to 25. That should help us get about, in the overall perspective, about a 4% increase in market share. Hopefully to be in that 45% plus range again.
So if I correctly heard, sir, the plan is to increase the market share, the current market share from 12.5% to 25% very soon, and be a majority player in the 45% SUV market.
Correct. So we should be the number one. We are targeting to be the number one SUV in terms of market share, the number one SUV player in the industry, with a volume of around that 480,000 or so, and a market share of about 25% in the SUV category.
And then how much time are you anticipating this growth, sir?
So this year is what I'm talking of, this financial year 23.
Okay, so this financial year, fair enough. Also for this financial year, I'd like to take your opinion, because since BS6 Part 2 norms have kicked in, vehicle prices have started to increase, thereby pinching the pocket of consumers. So are you anticipating a further price hike, or do you think now the prices would be stable considering the commodity prices have also eased out a bit?
Yeah, so we almost all OEMs increased the prices in April, including Maruti Suzuki. This is on top of the January price increase that we have had. So in terms of the costs which went up because of the BS6 phase 2 norms and the OBD2 norms, that has sort of been factored in. Commodity prices have been relatively stable in the last few months, although the steel prices have been going up. So going forward, of course, we need to see how the commodity prices pan out, because both on the steel as well as the other copper, aluminum, etc. Can't really predict, but obviously commodity prices are a very important component of the overall cost structure of any OEM. They are about 75 to 77% of the overall cost structure for the auto OEM.
Right. Okay. So also regarding chip shortage, the company, in fact, in fourth quarter also suffered, issues regarding chip shortage, and there is there's a common belief that quarter one would also be affected. By when are you thinking you would be coming out of this completely?
So you are right. Last year the total production loss which happened because of the semiconductor part shortage was about 170,000. 38,000 was in Q4 alone, on top of 45,000 loss which we had in the quarter three. The beginning for quarter one has also not been so great. We were short in many models because of the semiconductor supply situation, and that is reflected in the large number of pending bookings that we have, especially in some models like Ertiga, XL6, Brezza, the Desire, and so on and so forth. So this problem has unfortunately continued in Q1. I guess also we'll be losing a lot of production because of that. We try to make it up with increased offtake in other models where the supply is better. But I guess from Q2 onwards, we should start seeing some improvement. But we have to keep our fingers crossed, and I'm not really sure about this better situation, because the visibility of semiconductor components going forward is very limited, and we get a weekly update based on which we continue to change our forecast for the future.
Absolutely. And, in fact, last week, a bigger announcement came over for adding production capacity. Would you like to comment on the investments that are being planned, and probably the states that you're looking at? Bhargav, in fact, told us that Haryana is ruled out because there are already 2 production lines there. So any comment on that?
So really, it's in a very preliminary stage, because it's only in the last board meeting that the board approved the setting up of another plant with the capacity of 1 million or so. and ask the management to do a detailed analysis to suggest the actual models to be produced and where geographically the plant should be located and so on. The type of investments which will be made, the extent of investment, the geography where the plant will come up, and which models will be made, of course, will be clear once we do the study. But what is important here is not those exact location or the models, but the fact that going by the potential, the demand scenario that has, including that of exports and the OEM supply, it is expected that the overall demands would be somewhere like a 4 million or so for Maruti Suzuki, a combined of domestic as well as export and OEM. And we have a capacity of just above 2 million. And with Kharkhoda, another million. So obviously there is a shortfall, and that's what the board noted and asked the management to examine setting up of another plant with the 1 million capacity.
Also, Shashank, one more thing with the ship shortage, how much is the backlog currently, and how can it be eased out as soon as possible?
So we have a backlog of about 378,000 bookings as of today morning. And of course, as I said, hopefully the semiconductor supply situation should improve Q2 onwards. Although, again, I must re-emphasize that it's not really absolutely clear that things will improve from Q2 because we have only very limited, visibility of the component availability going forward. And but hopefully, from our analysis of the demand supply situation, I think we should see some betterment from Q2 onwards.
Sure, sir. And sir, Maruti Suzuki is venturing big time into hybrid. So, is there a plan where you can probably ask the government for incentives under various PLI or FAME scheme? Is there a proposal?
I mean, absolutely. I think we would like the government to consider, some sort of a subsidy and encouragement for very fuel efficient vehicles that these strong hybrids are. So, and in fact for CNG as well, because CNG also is a very good fuel for as far as the environment is concerned. And we do see, and giving very good fuel efficiency as well. So that also brings down the overall import bill because gas is much cheaper than the crude oil. And therefore, from all angles, it appears that, yes, there should be some sort of a extra support for vehicles which use the powertrain of hybrids and also for CNG.
Have you reached out to the government regarding the same or through SIAM? Any development on that front?
I think the department which is concerned with government relations would have through SIAM got into that, but I'm not fully aware of developments in that regard.
Okay, last question, sir. There have been various reports and various queries on social media regarding regarding the partnership with Toyota. When can the consumers or the viewers expect Innova-like vehicle from Maruti stable? Any comment on that?
Yeah, so I think our chairman did talk about it in the press conference immediately after the annual results, that we will be getting a vehicle, a larger MUV vehicle from Toyota in a few months' time. And yes, so that is something which we should be looking forward to, especially at the top end of the market. We would definitely like to have a vehicle to give consumers a chance to upgrade. Many of our consumers want to upgrade from the vehicles. We do not have a vehicle in that price bracket or that class bracket. And we are looking forward to serve those customers with this new vehicle.
In this year only we can expect such a development?
Yeah, in a few months' time.
Okay. Thank you, Shashank San, for joining us and wishing you all the best, sir.
Thank you very much. Thanks.
If you like the video, do like, comment, share and subscribe.